Good morning, YouTube. Happy Sunday. It's a dreary day here in the southeastern Wisconsin area. A little bit rainy, a little bit chilly. It's a good day for chili, actually, but we're not having chili tonight for dinner. We're having a pot roast. So I've already got that together, and it's in the crock pot, waiting for my gal to come home. And but yeah, I hope you guys, wherever you're at, the weather's good and you're having a great day. I don't have many plans today. I'm just chilling. I took a day off from the gym today to take a full rest day to give my body a chance to catch up. And later today, the NASCAR has their big Talladega event. Excuse me. The Talladega race is going on today, so I plan to plop myself in the chair and watch that, and as I often do. So whatever you guys are doing, watching football, watching auto racing, or just enjoying your family, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. So today, I don't have anything to build. So I'm sorry to disappoint those of you that are looking forward to me doing something. I thought I'd take a break from doing builds today and just get caught up on some of the events that happened this past week. My gal and I did journey down to Schaumburg, Illinois yesterday for the Pinball Expo. And we'll get into that in a second. But first, let's say hi to everybody that's here. Baby Me chimed in first. Says he was there too as well yesterday. And I know Biggie D. I did bump into Biggie D and say hi to him. And he told me you were there. And I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you. A lot of people there yesterday. I don't know if you agree with me, but just seemed like a ton of people there. It was a Saturday, so kind of expected. But I'm sorry. I am sorry I didn't get to meet you and others that were there as well. But I did get to meet Biggie D, so that's at least a plus. Ted Adam Green is here. Good to see you, Ted. And when we actually had an amazing time. And we'll talk about next year's expo, what might be in our plans for next year. Stock Jock's here. Good to see you, Stock Jock. Yep, I deliberately chose to wear this shirt. I also have the game running in the back on my Legends HD, so I plan to get some games of Robotron in today. I hope you are enjoying your Donkey Kong Jr. I did catch your unboxing video, and that was everything looks amazing. I can't wait to see it built. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all that have chimed in the chat so far. So let me know if you're here. Just shout out. So, a couple of news and notes just from my perspective, and forgive me for having to put on the birth control glasses again, because I can't see without them. Getting old sucks. It really does. But hey, I'm fit. It's just my eyes that are failing me. So, and my ears really. So, just to kick things off on the news and notes, at games, day 12 of not hearing a peep from them. And I checked my phone earlier. Nothing. Okay, I have an open ticket. I have a ticket number. It was opened on October 7th. We're now on day 12, guys. At Games hasn't said jack squat to me, and my Legends HD pinball is still down. I might try to take it apart today to do some troubleshooting. So, um, I might shoot some video on that and maybe post some shorts through my troubleshooting process and what I did. We'll see. But yeah, day 12 at Games hasn't said nothing to me. So I'm a little bit down on that. It's a good thing they weren't at Pinball Expo yesterday because I would have let them have it with both barrels. So yeah. Mike of all trades here. Moat, good to see you, buddy. Hockey Town is also here. Hockey Town, man, I understand you're having some difficulties, and just know that my thoughts are with you. So yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on with you. I mean, I try to follow along with some of the chats and some of the Discord stuff, although I'm not in Discord as much. But whatever you got going on, man, I'm pulling for you, man. Anyway, so yeah, at Games, reach out to me. I mean, you got my email, obviously, because you sent me an acknowledgement that the ticket was opened. That's the last I heard from you. That was on October 7th. So, y'all saw my build videos of the Basic Fun Art countercades over here. I am disappointed that they don't retain high scores. That's a major bummer for me. You know, I'm still sitting at a 6 or a 7 out of 10 score for these. Playability, they're playable. The artwork is great on both cabinets. The build is great. You know, I just wish they had a lit marquee. I wish they saved high scores. The Tempest, the spinner, I think is a little. I will use the word free. Okay, the spinner is free. I think it just needs adjustment, and we need that ability to adjust the spinner. There's no setup menu on these things, so. But overall, a general 6 to 7 out of 10 score on both of these. I don't know about the WrestleFest countercade. I don't know about the Asteroids countercade. Right now, I'm on the fence of buying the Asteroids countercade. I might. I don't know. I'm going to rethink my whole 1/6 scale, 1/4 scale, and my countercade situation because I need to move those countercades that are sitting on this white table here over to the same display of my smaller units just to combine everything a little bit. So, and while I'm talking about the 1/6 and 1/20 and 1/4 or scale arcades, let's talk about Numbskull coming out this week with the pre-orders going live for the Lunar Lander and for Bad Dudes. Now, Bad Dudes, I don't have any nostalgia for, so I didn't really do anything with that. But Lunar Lander is like one of the number one cabinets that I would love to own, and it was a day one purchase for me. I signed up lickety split. So I've got Lunar Lander on order. The price tag of 350 US was a little hefty, but I'm not going to let Lunar Lander slide. I went ahead and got it. So that's coming. They say it'll be here by Christmas. So, or on Christmas is the date they used. So I'm looking forward to it. So my 1/4 scale is growing. Now I also have, matter of fact, I might do it after the show today. I have a couple of purchases from Numbskull that I want to make. I for over a year, I've been wanting to buy the Pepsi and the 7-Up USB chargers from them, and I just haven't pulled the trigger. Well, I just need to just pull the trigger. I ran through my budget today, ran through my arcade budget, and it's the money's there. So I just need to do it. Now is probably a good time to do it with the lack of cabinets from Arcade 1-Up and the lack of enthusiasm for me for a Basic Fun 3/4 scale. So uh, while I mention Basic Fun again, Buy Stuff Arcade's out there with a couple of shorts talking about WrestleFest mod that they are working on. So keep that in mind. Those of you that have bought the WrestleFest cabinet and are interested in enhancing or improving the games that were provided, Buy Stuff is coming out as they often do or often have come out with a solution for you. Now, how much that's going to be, who knows? But if you want your cabinet, your WrestleFest cabinet, to be more accurate, arcade accurate, then you've got an option coming, it appears. So stay tuned for that. Just browsing through the chat here real quick. Chris is here. Good to see you, Chris. Morning. Yeah, Hockey Town. Man, I'm with you with the headaches. Okay, because yesterday while at Expo, I've been suffering and I go through this every year around this time. I have bad sinus headaches that really put pressure on my eyes. So it's really hard. Number one, I got the pain I'm dealing with, and number two, I've got the pressure on my eyes that really cause eye pain, and it actually affects my vision. So, but I popped a couple of Dayquils, and we headed on down, and I soldiered through the expo. So I wasn't going to miss the expo. So the pain dulled a little bit yesterday, but by the end of the day, I was just ready. I was ready for the NyQuil and a good night's sleep. I did get a good night's sleep. My sleep score in Garmin was like an 83 with the NyQuil, and I'm happy to say this morning I feel 100% better. No pain, no headache. I'm sure it'll be back because when the weather turns wonky here in the Wisconsin area between the seasons, it happens every year. Spring into summer, no, winter into spring, and then summer into fall is when I start having sinus issues, and it's just something I've had to deal with for many years, and probably will always be with me until the day I die. So I feel you on the headache. So I hope you feel better, my friend. Let's see. I already said hi to Moat. Yeah, we're so much the same, I think. We come from the same era of arcades. And yes, we are getting an additional goodies with our pre-orders. So I'm looking forward to that. You and I, Stock Jack, boy, we are simpaticos when it comes to favorite arcades, aren't we? Let's see. Yeah, I got to give Stock Jock a hard time on his video because it was vertical. So, got to learn how to do proper aspect ratio videos, my friend. I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. But it was a good video, though. I enjoyed watching it. Jason brings up a good point. By the way, hi, Jason. Good to see you. Yes, and the reason I probably didn't mention it is because I haven't watched Super Game Room Dudes yet. Usually when I work out on Sunday mornings, that's when I get to watch a replay of the Super Game Room Dudes. And I didn't go to the gym this morning, so I haven't watched Super Game Rooms Dudes. But I understand on Friday night that the folks at Numbskull announced that they're working on Battle Zone. So that may be a day one purchase for me as well, because I have a lot of nostalgia for that game. So yeah, I'm going to watch Super Game Room Dudes, get all the deets, and then we'll decide what I'm going to do. But that'll probably be a day one buy for me as well. Let's see. This probably be a short stream, by the way, Jason. I don't have any builds to do today, and I got some things in the works. So maybe next weekend we'll do something. Depends on how whatever delivery service is chosen delivers my stuff. So I don't want to give anything away. I mentioned last week I got a couple of surprises coming. So yeah, look for something next week, probably. So Stock Jock says the battle zone is going to be off the charts. Yes, it will. All right. So we talked about basic fun countercades. I did ask someone in the community, the folks in the community via community post, if the three-quarter scale basic fun cabinet saved or retained high scores. The only answer I got back, and I apologize, I don't have the person's name but he did mention that there was one game on the WrestleFest cabinet that did not preserve high scores. Now, um, I can go back and look at that, but I would like to have more information. Like, does the centipede, in particular, the centipede 3/4 from them? I'd like to know if it retained high scores. So let me know if you've bought a 3/4 scale cabinet from Basic Fun, and give me some good feedback on how the high scores are retained. I just feel like in this day and age of home arcade that companies should be able to do that fairly easily via software. And Arcade One Up seemed to handle it pretty well. And I think this is a step backwards for these cabinets if they can't retain high scores. So that's my commentary on that. I talked about At Games. I talked about Numbskull. I'm very excited about what Numbskull is doing. I have nothing on New Wave Toys. Now, Danny mentioned on one of his videos this past week that um, there were a few new Wave Toys items at the expo, and we walked around that entire place. We were there for like 5 hours, and I did not see any New Wave Toys. I didn't expect the company to be there, but some vendor was supposedly there selling New Wave Toys, and I didn't come across them. Maybe I missed them. I don't know what area of the floor they were in. Kind of disappointed, because if they had one there that I might have been interested in buying, I would have probably picked it up. So I left the expo without spending a dime, other than uh, I paid $10 in the concession, one for a generic bottle of water and one for a fountain Pepsi for me. So $5 a piece for a beverage. Didn't matter if you were just getting water or a Pepsi. $5. That was highway robbery to me. So yeah. That's all I spent yesterday at the expo was $10. So speaking of the expo, let's talk about the expo. Um, so um, what our day yesterday consisted of we have a routine on Saturdays that we follow religiously. So Saturdays are our long run days. So we're in the gym or we travel somewhere to do a long run outside. And yesterday was pretty crappy weather-wise, so we ran inside at the gym. I did 9 miles, my gal did 8. And then once we were done with that, we went to breakfast, got our bellies full, so we didn't have to worry about eating at the expo or on the way down. And then we came home, got ready, and then took off. So we got to the expo about 12:30. Yeah, it was probably later than I wanted to get there, but it is what it is. We were able to spend about 5 hours, and then it hit me towards the end when we were there that, well, crap, my gal has to get up at like 3:30 to open her business uh, at well, they open at 5, so she has to be there at 4:30. So I'm like, crap, we go to bed right around 7 o'clock every night, and here it was like 5:30 at the expo, and I'm like, and it takes us 2 hours to get home. So I told her, I said, we got to get out of here. But I did want to play the Star Wars Fall of the Empire pinball at Stern, and so we were able to wait and get that done, and then we went over to Woodfield Mall, had dinner at Red Robin real quick, and then we headed home. We got home a little late, got to bed a little late, but overall, we spent about 5 hours at the expo. So let's talk about my feelings about some of the highlights at the expo. Let's get Stern right out, uh, uh, right off the bat. Let's talk about Stern. Stern had a very sizable presence. In my opinion, it wasn't as large as it was last year for the 40th, but they still had a pretty good size section of floor space. And what they had there is they had, well, first of all, Fall of the Empire was the main featured cabinet that they had there. They had a lot of well, they had a few Jaws, just a couple of Jaws. They had a Metallica. They had one Metallica. They had what was the other? There was one other featured cabinet there. There was a couple of X-Men. There was a John Wick there, and then there were a couple of other cabinets. But you could tell the main focus of their display this year was Fall of the Empire. And the very first thing my gal and I did when we got there was we headed over to Stern, and I knew we had to find the Metallica machine for her. So we did, and there was a line, so we had to wait in line to play the game. And well, you know what? Let me bring up some photos. Let's pull. I'm just no. Let's put that back. Let's go to Windows Explorer. And we'll go there, and we'll go here. All right, so the very first photo, a handful of these photos I posted to. All right, so here we are, second in line for the Metallica. And this is their newer Metallica. It's Metallica remastered. So it's a beautiful table, but this is my gal Leslie. Everybody say hi to Leslie. Good story about how we met, but I won't go into that today. We've been together for 6 years now, and it's been true bliss every day. This woman is just an incredible woman, and so happy to be with her. But I'm so pleased that she came with me to the expo. She's not big into video games or big into pinball, but she loves pinball more than she loves video games or arcade games. And so I'm glad she came with me to this, and it was a little adventure that we went on. So we got up to the Metallica pinball, and guys, I gotta say, I'm in love with this pinball. If I had the funds built up, I would buy it. I would truly fork out the money for this. It's a great machine. The only thing that disappointed me is we couldn't get a real sense for the audio because, of course, if you've been at Pinball Expo, it's incredibly loud there. So you really couldn't hear the call outs and the music in the game. But we loved watching the video of the band playing on stage during various parts of the game. I just thought it played really well, and I had a good time with it. Oh, also, guys, I have never used. I apparently registered for a Stern Insider Connect account a long time ago, maybe last year at last year's expo. But I never knew that you could scan your barcode and then track your gameplay within the app. I didn't know that. I found that out yesterday. And so I finally got some games recorded in the Insider Connect, including this one, Metallica Pinball. And I thought that was just so awesome that we could track our own gameplay on Stern's machines. So kind of want to go find some games locally now and start racking up or getting some more experience at playing pinball. Jason says he's heard the same from others that it was less crowded than the last. I know the last one was more of an anniversary show, so that's to be expected. Yeah, I just well, I went on a Friday last year, so it really wasn't that many people there on a Friday. But yesterday was Saturday, and a lot of people on their day off were coming to this show, and I just felt like it just seemed like a ton of people there. Prince Vinny is here. Good to see you, buddy. I'll show these to her later. She'll get a kick out of it. But yeah, Metallica was our first stop. And I love the artwork on here. I like it better than I do the first generation of Metallica pinball that they came out in, like, I think it was 2013. Yeah, I don't prefer the art on that one. I prefer this one over that one. So I would definitely buy this table if I had the funds available. Another shot of her playing the game from the other side. and a shot of the board. and I'm pretty much in the same camp as others in flipper count. If the less flippers, the better, in my opinion. We played a game yesterday that had like 6 flippers in it. I can't remember which one that was, but I just felt it was too much. Metallica has only 2, and so I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Yeah, here's the look at the cabinet side art. I just thought this was pretty cool. Next up for us was, well, she was playing Phantom of the Opera here. Shot of some of the vintage pinballs that were there. Right here is a Spy Hunter pinball, and I wanted to play that, but we were kind of shuffling along, trying to get as much of the expo in as possible. But there are a lot. That's one of my notes here. Is that compared to last year, I felt like there was a ton more vintage pinballs here this go round this year than there was last year. Now, granted, last year we had that separate room off of the expo main floor that had all the pinballs in it. But everything was in the main floor here, and you had that sense that there was way more pinballs here. And as far as arcade games, there's actually less arcade games here than there were last year. I felt like there was more last year. There were a couple of Atari Reloaded. I have a photo here, Ted, and I hope Stock Jock's still with us. Oh yeah, he's asking about it. Stay tuned, Stock Jock. You'll see it here in a second. So yeah, another shot of some of the vintage pinballs. There's even a vintage Star Trek here that was pretty cool. Here's Leslie playing the AC/DC. She loved that game. That was her favorite, other than the Metallica. Of all the games we played yesterday, I think she fell in love with this one. So if ever an AC/DC comes up locally, she's probably going to have me buy one. Yeah. This is an older model of the AC/DC. So, and this one we could actually hear the music. So it was pretty cool. There's a picture of the table, AC/DC table. I actually thought the gameplay on this was pretty awesome as well. Here's the older, you can't really see it. It's kind of fuzzy because the camera focused on Leslie instead of the pinball. But there's some really cool topper here. This is the 2013 version of the Metallica. And so she got to play that as well. Here's me playing the Indianapolis 500. I had to play that because, as you all know, I'm a credentialed photographer at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I didn't really care for the gameplay on this, but you know, it's a 500 themed cabinet, and I had to play it, so it's a must. I did like the topper on this with the flags. I actually have this flag set right here. It's up in my office upstairs. This is actually a souvenir you can buy from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum, and you probably buy it online too. But cool desk shit that somebody turned into a pinball topper here, and I thought it was pretty cool. Well, Stock Jock, here's Fireball. Okay, and this was the pinball I thought you were talking about until we found Firepower. I did not care for this game. The gameplay on this was pretty terrible, and I gotta admit, as I'm standing there playing this, I could have swore, you know, that burning smell you smell when wire is burning. I could have swore that was emanating from this pinball. So I was kind of getting worried I was going to catch on fire at some point. But it is, you know, it does have fire in the name. Here you go. And I'm sorry, Stock Jock. I apologize for the blurriness of the pinball itself. But here's me playing Firepower. Yeah, Stock Jock. Fireball does stink. But I actually like this game. I don't know if it's up there with one of my top pinballs, but I liked it a hell of a lot better than I did Fireball. But I do apologize for the. Let me see if I got another picture that's better. No, there's Fireball. I'm looking on my online. No, I don't have another one. Sorry, Stock Jock. That one I'll have to do. So I did have some time with. I did have some time with Firepower. Okay. You guys aren't gonna like me. All right. To be fair, and I'm bad with names, so I don't know who it was. I think his name was Gary. Yeah, because this is his tag right here. He's standing right here. He's the one that we talked to about this. Okay. No, I did not get the multi-ball on Fire Polish, Stock Jock. Just to answer your question. So here we are at the Wonderland Pinball display. And Gary, bless his heart, was there trying to sell this game to us. He did start out, and let me caveat all of this discussion that I'm about to give you. He did caveat it with the fact that this version was a early prototype. He said they were supposed to have 12 machines from the production line there at the expo, but they're stuck on a container somewhere. So that's how he explained it to me. But he said this one had issues. And boy, did it have issues. I'm not going to lie, folks. I'm so happy I did not pre-order this. First of all, let me talk about the good. The artwork on this is fantastic. They did an awesome job with the artwork. So that's a plus. Now let's talk about negatives. First of all, the code in this particular prototype was horrible. Just freaking horrible. And the plunger didn't work. And every time, and sometimes it would eject a ball into the plunger and before the previous ball had even sank. And it wasn't keeping track of player 2's score accurately. So there's a lot of code issues here. And I don't know if it was the finalized code that are on the shipping versions, but I agree with they be me here. It's horrible. Okay, that's just my opinion. I thought this is just my opinion now. Okay, I thought the game field was kind of cheesy. Granted, you're only paying, well, those of you that got in early are only paying $800 for this. I understand it's going to be $1,000 if you want to buy it now off the website. For that price, does this fit that? Maybe, but I got to see a fully production version of this off of the shipping container and after the day one update that they said that they were going to be applying to this. But I got to tell you, I'm so disappointed in this. I had my hopes high that it was actually going to turn out to be really awesome, but it wasn't. And I know they probably worked really hard on this, and they were expecting to get good thoughts on this, warm reception of it. But if you're going to bring something to the Pinball Expo, bring your production version or don't come at all. Because bringing this prototype was embarrassing for you folks. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. They didn't do that for me, but he had, in order to get the ball into the plunger, a lot of times he had to press a button. So he pressed a button on the front of the cabinet to put the ball into the launcher, and so it's just disappointing. I will wait for the community videos of the stuff that's going to be shipped, and after the day one update, to decide whether or not this is something I even want to consider bringing into the arcade. But what they showed at the show was just horrible. So, um, yeah, they're just the big thing for me, I think, is the software. I can live with the cheesiness of the playfield, I guess. Um, Now, granted, I'm not a pinball aficionado. Okay, this is just an honest opinion from somebody who's a part-time pinball player. And once you go from like a Stern to this, you're like, and if you guys are interested in Leslie's opinion, she did not like it either. She was not a fan. So she felt like there was a lot of work that still yet needed to be done. So, um, they be me. I agree with you. Yeah, it's bad, Moat. It really is. So I hope and pray that after the day one update and the models that'll be shipping, um, that it'll be a lot better. And so that's why I'm taking a wait and see to see the review videos, from some of my trusted YouTube friends, and we'll see. But just from my hands-on experience, I wouldn't buy it if it was in this state. No, no. So I wish them luck. I hope that things improve at launch. You know, when they start shipping. But yeah, that was a poor showing this past weekend. So just my thoughts, just on that. So we moved back to doing some of the full size pinballs, and you're going to see a theme here. We definitely hit up all of the music themed, or band themed pinballs. So here we are playing Guns N' Roses. I actually love this table too. Um, the gameplay on it was pretty amazing. This table was more flashy in my opinion, a lot more lights and stuff. So I kind of like this one better than I did AC/DC, but she really loved AC/DC over this one. So I love the topper on this as well, right here. Then we really had to play the Wizard of Oz table. We both love this table. Would love to have it in our game room. I love the fact that the flippers had ruby slippers on them, and the scene call outs on the back glass were just awesome. So um, this would be a pinball I would love to have in my arcade as well. Yeah, I agree, Moat. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to spend that amount of money, yes, we all know, it's only a grand. So for a pinball, you should be getting a bargain, right? I mean, but if you're going to bring this machine to a show, bring something that's going to be actually shipping and ready. Stock Jock says problem is Wonderland is getting a bad rep on these things because they keep showing up to these events with poorly playing machines. Yes, I agree. It was horrible for them. I did feel bad for them. I know they've worked hard on this. You could tell by talking to them that this is a passion project, and it was something that they paid a lot of attention to. So I just feel like they needed more time. They should have launched this in 2026 and got it nailed down further, I think. I think they rushed this too quickly for a Christmas release. That's my opinion. Well, yeah, Wizard of Oz is great. All right. Let's talk about the star of the show. All right. This is what I think won the show. Well, yeah, I'm going to call this one as the thing that won the show. As you all know, X Arcade was there with their arcade to TV XR, or whatever they're calling it, tank stick VR now. I actually got to talk to the developer of this, and very nice fellow. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. I don't remember his name. But I complimented him. I told him the product as it is now without the kit update was amazing in and of itself. But I played Battlestar, the Battlestar Galactica table on this particular unit. They had 3 of them there. And I got to tell you, folks, and we had the force feedback and the solenoids turned down pretty low, just pretty low. How it felt absolutely amazing, and I'm so excited to receive my kit to apply to mine. The plunger is great. It's terrific. Great bounce back. Um, the sound is awesome. The feeling of the board is awesome. Those little fabricated plates over the side buttons are pretty amazing. For to help you with your hands when you're flipping. I even did well, I actually tilted the machine because I shook the control panel and to give it a nudge, and I actually tilted the damn thing. So hopefully that's a setting you can adjust. Um, uh, so yeah, in my opinion, this is a mod that I'm so looking forward to doing. We're going to do it together. I do have spinners that I'm actually going to add as I'm doing this haptic kit update. But I was blown away by this kit, and I'm so excited for it. So yeah, I think this one stole the show in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to it. Leslie did not try this. Leslie does not like VR. I've had her try my headset a couple of times, and she said she got really dizzy. I tried to explain to her it goes away over time if you just limit your time in, and then with each time you use it, it gets better and better. She just did not like that feeling, so it's been a real struggle to get her to try out VR because I'd really love to do some walkabout golf with her. Uh, uh, Speaking of Winchester and Dune, those lines were incredible. They be me. I mean, I agree. And when I bumped into Biggie D. He was telling me all you guys were waiting in line there, waiting to play the Winchester game, and so we never got in that line because it's just we did not want to waste our time on it. So, but we were impressed by the amount of interest that those tables drew. Definitely the bigger, well, other than Stern, definitely the bigger pinball display there for sure. And moving right along, there's a shot of us. And then we also had to play Wonka. I love this table too. If I could have like 2 nostalgic tables, it would be Willy Wonka and Wizard of Oz. I would love to have them both. But of course, we'd have to buy a Metallica first. Am I going to become a pinball channel? No. I'm a part-time pinball player, admittedly, but I loved both Willy Wonka and Wizard of Oz. I think those were my 2 favorite tables. Her, of course, the AC/DC table. But we're going to get to another table here in a second. There's a look at the table on Willy Wonka. Very simple gameplay, I think. Not too many flippers. Closer up view of the table. Kind of open in the middle, which I thought was good. Artwork on this is incredible. All right, so we got this is right around 5:30ish when we had to get out of here. But I said I gotta have some time with Fall of the Empire. So there were 2 types of tables they had. There were 2 different skins. One was Empire themed, and one was Return of the Jedi themed. And I don't know which one was Pro, Premium, or LE. I didn't have time to research that. This particular table I liked. and like the one in the back here had more components in it, table elements. Like there's a stormtrooper helmet right here, but they same basic playfield artwork and wise, but each version had different elements. So, but I absolutely love this table. Um, this is a knockout for Stern, I think. If I had the money right now, it'd be a day one purchase. But who has $7,000 just to buy the baseline version of this? I don't. So I would love to get one, but there's so many other pinballs I'd love to get. We're gonna get a Metallica before we get a Fall of the Empire. So for me, this is gonna be I'm gonna be looking for this in the Garcade, which is a local arcade about 20 minutes from me. So I was really impressed with the gameplay. Didn't drain too much. Again, I'm not a pinball expert, but there are games you play that just drain right away on you all the time. I was able to sustain a ball during gameplay on this pretty easy, and the music, the scene call outs, everything in this game is just beautiful. All right, see, I don't know the difference of that of the versions. This might have been the Pro, because again, it was missing table elements that the one to the right of it had. So this one might have been the Premium. I don't think they had any LEs here, but they probably just had only Pro and Premium versions of their cabinets. But so this one right here, I think was their Premium version, and this was probably the Pro. So I liked it. I mean, if I had 7 grand to fork over for this table, I'd probably put it down, but I'll just be happy going to the Garcade and playing it. That's what Pinside is for, right? There's a look at the table. Pretty beautiful table, in my opinion. And it's got this Death Star up here that can eat balls. So this picture doesn't really do the backlash justice. It was way more beautiful. But what I thought was cool about this one was the fact the Emperor was up here with his hands out like that, shooting lightning. And that's all the pictures I have from the expo, really. So, so just to recap with some of my thoughts, the highlights for Stern for me was Fall of the Empire. Great, and it was obviously their showcase table there this year. I loved it. I loved the gameplay. And the only other Stern that we got on was Metallica, and that was when we first got there, and I love that table as well. So again, if there's a pinball coming to the Quarter Deck Arcade, it's going to be the Metallica first and foremost, because my gal is 100% a huge Metallica fan, and she'd be married to James Hetfield if she could. So I've known that for the entire time I've known her, and accepted it that James Hetfield is her soulmate, and but it's just a joke that we have between each other, and so so Wonderland, not impressed. Bad showing for them. I pray that their shipping product and their day one update makes this a hell of a lot better table than what we saw at the expo. X Arcade, amazing winner of the show for me. Great to see those guys there. Tons of vintage tables there that we hit. Loved everything I played. And some of it brought some really serious nostalgia, like Gorgar. I mean, I know you all are probably familiar with that table from back in the day. I played a lot of Gorgar back then. There was one of my notes from yesterday is there was some vendors there, but I wasn't too crazy about everything they were selling. So again, I didn't spend a dime on vendors there. The only one that I might have considered is the same guy was there last year, the guy with that does some of the table back glass or the artist that does some of the table art and also designs the shirts for the expo. I forget his name, but those are awesome back glass pieces. They're backlit, so it would make a great art piece in my arcade. And I never went back over there to see how much they were and see if there's one I would consider taking home. Meatball Saucy's here. Good to see you, Betty. Mo makes a great point here, and Gary also told us this yesterday. They're going to be bringing TMNT next, and I hope to God they iron out the bugs with Alice in Wonderland. Well, there's an actual official name for the table, but get that one working before you jump into TMNT. Really, Stock Jock says the haptics kit is going to be a game changer. Yes, I agree. Like I said, winner of the show. Oh, one cool thing that Leslie really liked yesterday was and they had this last year too, the pinball history section where you actually walked through versions of pinball from the early 1900s on up through like the 50s and 60s. And it was just and they had like these little history sheets that you could read up on pinball history. And she's a big history buff and loves to go to museums. And so for her, this was a great little section that talked about the history of pinball and how it came and some features of pinball that like tilt, what decade tilt originated in, and multi-ball when that first appeared. She loved learning those little tidbits. And so that was a highlight for her, at least. I'm not so much of a buff about older pinball, but she just found that fascinating. So I thought I'd point that out. Hey, B Kirby, good to see you. Sorry I didn't see you yesterday, man. Sorry, or didn't hook up with you at all this weekend. I don't know if you made it to the expo or not. I thought I heard you were going to go. And Stockjock, this is on my to-do list too. I need to build another computer for my HD since At Games is not going to fix my HD. So, but I need to troubleshoot that further. So to wind up my discussion about Pinball Expo, she'd love to go back. So, but she felt like we didn't have enough time to really spend a lot of time section to section. We kind of bounced around quickly, and even then that was for 5.5 hours, but we felt like we just missed a lot. So I think what we're talking about doing, maybe next year, it might be a year after that, I don't know, but we're looking into it about maybe coming down on a Friday, getting a room at the Renaissance there, and then staying overnight, and then attending Saturday as well. So making it a 2-day affair for us. That way we can spend more time. Any YouTubers that we meet up with there, that we can spend more time getting to know each other a little better. That was disappointing because the only one person I met was Biggie D, and even then that conversation was short. He had friends holding place in line. I believe it was Steps Gaming, while he had to run to the bathroom, and he saw me wearing the shirt, and so we chatted a little bit, but he had to get to the restroom and then get back in line, and so that conversation was short. I'd like to be able to spend more time and not be rushed out. I got to spend definitely more time this year than I did last year. Last year I only had 3 hours, then I had to be back home. So maybe next year, maybe the year after that or so, we'll consider about making it a 2-day affair. What's next for the Quarterdeck Arcade? Well, they're surprises, really. The one thing I will talk about is, and I mentioned it earlier, is I need to work on my smaller scale display. Get that evened out a little bit because I don't want this white table sitting here with the countercades. I want my countercades off to the side. So maybe I'll work on that today. Maybe not. And that's all I've got for today. I apologize. I don't have anything to build, but there's stuff coming. So just know that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming. Let's talk about that. Let's roll that off. I got the haptics kit coming. I got some surprises coming for you. I've got the GI Joel cabinet coming. I've got the Buildicade FU coming, and I've got a couple of 1/6 scale Buildicade artwork packages coming. Still haven't gotten them yet from Joe Zabo. What else do I have coming? Yeah, that's about it. So, as you know, we all like to add some things here and there and build out our arcades. And I'll probably be looking for some more neon artwork because I'd like to enhance this wall over here with some more neon. I feel like I've gone as far as I can with neon over here on this wall. So, and I think I'll close the show today by acknowledging the season that my Milwaukee Brewers had. They had the best record in baseball during the regular season. They went on a tear in the summer where they definitely won a hell of a lot more games than they lost, and wound up with the best record in regular season baseball. And God love them, they beat the Cubs, and then went on to play the world champion Dodgers and their heavily payrolled lineup. And I'm sorry, I didn't have high expectations in this series, but I had just a little sliver of hope that the Brewers were gonna pull off some miracle with Bob Uecker up in heaven watching over us. But that Ohtani character, I mean, the game he had, the last game of the series, you just can't fight that. Okay, the guy is just a machine. So again, not I didn't have high expectations, but I had hope, and they gave it a good run, and hopefully they'll continue the tear they had during the regular season last year, next year. And so yeah, I'm gonna keep the Milwaukee Brewer neon up there on the wall back there because it's good looking and I like it. So and I'll always be a fan. I'm also a Cincinnati Reds fan, because I was growing up. So I can be a fan of multiple teams if I like them. And the Reds, I got a lot of nostalgia for the Reds. So anywho, I'll wind up the show with that. I'll let you guys get back to your weekend. And so next week, I anticipate being back and with potentially a surprise. Again, I'm at the mercy of shipping, so we'll see. And until I see you guys again next weekend, have a great week, a safe week, and always remember, I got next.